Yeah, so it's really interesting because we've got dueling forecasts going on and an attempt to seize the narrative. So OPEC is saying supply demand roughly in equilibrium, IEA predicting a big supply gut. The industry titans trying to say it's short term, it'll work itself out in the medium and long term. My own view is I think we're near the floor. Why do I think that? Cushing is at a 6-year low for inventory, so US based. I do think for shale, we're going to see flat to low production in 2026. We're starting to see more speculative plays. We're moving into more marginal territory. I think that'll put some of the supply off. And we might be even approaching a contango market where we start to see some uneconomic behavior. We're already seeing floating storage doubled 20 million barrels to 40 million barrels. Your own colleague Javier Blas wrote actually a really interesting piece about that. So we think it's the floor. So we don't necessarily like WTI at 58. I think it should be comfortably in the mid 60s, and we'll still see really strong growth from energy companies in 2026.
All right, backwardation and contango. One of these days, somebody's going to give me a clear explanation of that. Hey, one of the regional issues we're facing here, Regina, is a debate, a really intense debate over a proposed pipeline that would go from Pennsylvania through New Jersey, through the Raritan Bay, under the water, and to Queens. You know, the governor here for it, the congressional delegation against it. Can you talk to us about where we are in the debate between oil, gas, and renewables?
So right now we have an environment that is probably more friendly toward oil and gas. I shared a story with Tom and Paul earlier this year at an Astros game. And I know he's a Red Sox fan, but for the first time in a long time, I'm seeing oil companies advertise, baseball brought to you by oil and gas. You would not have seen that 2 years ago. So I think that the industry is trying to take advantage of that. I actually think your part of the country would really benefit from more access to natural gas in the New England, New York, New Jersey area. You have propane deliveries that still go house to house with heating oil. And if we had natural gas lines in, we have a ubiquitousness of natural gas, particularly from Appalachia, really close by, relatively inexpensive. So I think we're trying to do more of that. Offshore wind, I think it's being really under an onslaught in this current administration, but we'll still see a lot of renewables investment with solar and onshore wind and other investments. We're still seeing investments in hydrogen, for example, carbon capture, et cetera. So it might be more stealthy, those non-oil and gas moves, and I think that we're trying to capture more of that space. The other thing I would say is the IEA did say 30% of the world's energy will still have to come from oil and gas in terms of the growth that's coming between now and 2050. So we see insatiable energy demand, and we got to use oil and gas for filling a good chunk of that increase.